Hey guys, it's TheFrXion here, or Tank12, however you want to call me. I don't really care. Welcome back to World of Tanks, to Advent Calendar Day 3. Today, they are selling the M41 90. This is a German Walker Bulldog, based on the American Walker Bulldog, which is a tier 8, but with a German 90mm gun. I'd say that is a combination that I would definitely not hate if I hear the sound of that. German gun on an American chassis doesn't sound too bad. So you can either buy this tank for $25, I think, or 6,100 gold. There is no discount on this, so this is really important. But before we go into the worth of the deal, let's talk about the vehicle first. You can see I have the GF and I also have the non-GF in my garage. I only kind of play the GF because it's basically their same tank. And what is really special about this is it has a 90mm gun. This is a Walker Bulldog that doesn't have the 76mm gun, but it has a very high caliber for a light tank of 90mm. Now, that's probably the norm now, but it was kind of special when it first came out. This 90mm gun is really flexible because you have AP, heat, and high explosive shells, and the high explosive shells do have 102mm of pen, which gives you, if you pen someone, about 400 damage max, so you'll probably roll around 300 something. That's really nice because it's a step up from the 240 you have with the AP shells. Your penetration is not the best for a 90mm gun with 182 with AP shells, but you have gold, which has 250mm of pen, which should really work out in your favor. The rate of fire is not too bad. DPM is decent, 2,327 damage per minute. Your aim time is really good, 1.69 seconds, because I also use the equipment to increase that aim time. No, not the aim time, but the dispersion when I turn my turret. You have 8 degrees of gun depression, which used to be really good, but nowadays it's kind of the norm. Your turret turns very fast. Your accuracy is not the best, but it's a light tank, so you kind of expect it not to be the most accurate at longer distances, but 0.36, you can work with that. Doesn't have any armor, so we don't have to talk about that. Mobility wise, it's one of those light tanks that is really mobile, it's really flexible, 72.4 kilometers per hour top speed, and traverse speed of 63 is really great. The specific power to weight is also okay, 21.14. I think there are some other tanks, some other light tanks like the HWK-30 that have way better specific power to weight, but still, it doesn't mean that this tank is going to be slow or sluggish. It just takes a bit longer to reach the top speed. Now, going over to concealment and spotting, this tank has 400 meters base view range, and you can up that with the right crew, with the right equipment, and concealment wise, it's quite a large tank, but you can still conceal it quite nicely if you use the right equipment and you have the right crew skills. It is a bit larger than the HWK-30, so it is going to be harder to hide, but still, this is one of the original tier 8 premium light tanks that I first bought, and it's one of the most fun. I really like this tank. I really like the M41 90GF. Now, if you play the German tech tree and you either own the HWK-30 or you're thinking about getting HWK-30 or the this tank, and you just picked up the HWK-30, I think you don't need this because they are a bit different in their design, but in their philosophy, they're kind of similar. So if you already have the HWK-30, you don't really need the M41 90mm, but it's a really nice tank to have. It's a lot of fun. It's really good. It's a very potent scout. And that 90mm gun is really going to assist you as well in fighting back and not just be one of those vehicles that when it comes down to it and you have to get your hands dirty, you can't really do a lot because you only have a 76mm gun, which doesn't really have the best pen. But with this 90mm gun, you might face some opponents and you can still be effective at supporting your team. So I think this is a really cool tank, but let's talk about the deal real fast before we end this video. 6,100 gold or $25, is it worth for this vehicle? I think it's worth it if you like playing light tanks, if you want to go down the German tech tree, and if you don't have the HWK-30 already. Obviously, if you want to have both, they're both great, why not get both? Sure. The sad thing is it's not discounted. I would have really liked to see this tank go down for 20% less. Really sell it for, I don't know, 4,900 or 4,500. I think that would have been really nice. But We don't get a sale, we don't get a discount because they don't sell this tank often. So if you really want to pick it up, since it's a really cool tank, and if you already know the M41 Walker Bulldog and you love it, you'll love this tank. So I think the deal is okay, but I would have loved to see a discount on this vehicle. As always, tell me what you thought about this tank, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next video. Until then, have a good one.